So you're dealing with death in ways that other people may not necessarily be dealing with. And because it's opposing your Mercury right now, and it will be opposing your Moon in 2012, these are very, very personal issues for you, super personal. And how you deal with that is going to be how do you transform death in your life? And I think that this is all something that we're going to be, in the chart of the United States, the second house is where Pluto is showing up in the United States chart. So it's the death of the economy. It's the death of a way of being, because the second house is values, it's principles, it's morals, it's all root chakra stuff, which is what we're going through as a country. You're going through that on the flip side. You've got Pluto going through your 8th house, which is very, very different. So you'll be experiencing that in your own way on a personal level. Now, where's the light in that, right? Well, the light is that you theoretically will be able to transform that, get on the other side of that, tap into that, and be able to use the energy towards your own benefit, which would be, finding, institutional money. What I would suggest for you is I would try, if I could, if I were you, to try to start, or at least start with other people, some form of a nonprofit. That's what I would suggest. Because with all that Cancerian stuff in your chart, you could theoretically tap into either corporate dollars or government dollars that could help you. Like you, for instance, would be a great candidate to feed people. With all that Cancerian energy in the second house, starting a program or being a part of a program that could feed people, that would be great for you. Or to find shelter for people, like Habitat for Humanity or something along those lines. Either you create your own nonprofit with other people, not by yourself, because you've got Venus. Like maybe you should talk to Ellen, who was our last caller. You might be able to help Ellen out a lot. You could find a way to tap into that Pluto in the 8th house, which is finding money in institutions that could fund or be a part of a nonprofit experience that you'd be a part of.
Okay.
What do you do for a living now, Monica?
I've worked as a paralegal.
Paralegal. Okay. That would be. Let me see. That would work. I mean, you've got Sagittarius in the 7th house. If you wanted to, branch out and do something outside of that, I'm telling you, feeding people, taking care of people, working with people that are that could use all that Cancerian energy in your chart. That's actually paralegal is actually pretty good gig with all that Cancer stuff. That would be a good thing for you. So maybe maybe you do it as a sidelight or as a hobby. You've got Pluto down there in the 4th house. That's in Leo. It's building homes for other people. I'll tell you who a cool person is. Is this guy Warwick Dunn, who used to play football for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and every year he would find a person who needed a home, and he would either build or buy a home for that person every single year of his life. That would be an interesting thing for you to think about, right? Let's say you got a bunch of paralegals, right? And you said to yourself, hey, let's find one family a year that we could all work on to find a home for. And then you pitch in money, or you have these drives, these bake sales or whatever, and you go to corporations and you set up this nonprofit, which is like find a home a year. And all of a sudden you've taken a family, you've gotten them off the streets, and now they have a home that's paid for, free and clear. I would think that would be an interesting thing for you to do with Pluto in the 4th house.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. in terms, okay, so I'll seriously consider those suggestions. I appreciate it.
Is there anything else while I've got you on the phone here that you want to know about your chart?
Well, what else do you find interesting that you think would be helpful for me to know? Because I'm new to astrology. I don't really know what to ask. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I would just say that you've got your second Saturn return coming up, and that happens in 2013. And just like our last caller, you've got Saturn right on your Neptune right now as we speak. When it's in the sixth house. And when you've got Saturn on your Neptune, this is kind of I love how this happens with shows. There are themes that emerge and evolve through the show. And Saturn on, we're dealing with sixth house, we're dealing with purpose. So Saturn on Neptune in your sixth house is redefining your purpose in your life. And it's about winnowing away the illusions and really coming to terms with what you want to do with the second half of your life. Because what it does is it sets the table for Saturn return, which happens in 2013, 2014 in Scorpio. So you're going through your second Saturn return, which is a kind of a challenging piece at times for people, but not something to be afraid of. You've got Saturn in Scorpio, which is about power, it's about understanding life force, sexuality, sex, and death. But again, it's in the sixth house, so we have to, kind of re-rack that around purpose. So for you, over the course of the next 3 years, it's rediscovering and redefining what your purpose is in this lifetime.
Mhm. Yeah, at one time I really years ago wanted to have a institute for children, so that they could really be educated in areas that they would not be educated in. And that was really a dream of mine years ago. They could learn foreign languages. They could be, taken outside of the country and have different experiences and, financial planning and that kind of thing that they don't get.
I would say revisit that because you've got Mars in Leo and Jupiter in Leo, and that's the sign of children. And, Mars is in your third house, which is education. Jupiter is in your fourth house, which is home and mother. I think that that's a really worthwhile thing to revisit.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe, it could be, you could expand that, and it could be not just a foundation, but maybe it could also be like a home where, mothers with kids can come in for a while, and land and get their lives together and, maybe it's child-based. I would say don't let go of that because I think that you'll be revisiting those things over the course of the next 3 years. And, Saturn is in Scorpio, and it will be squaring ultimately those very early on those Leo planets. So you will be revisiting that.
Right now though, I really feel kind of really tired because it's been very difficult in terms of dealing with the world.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Well, put it on. Look, you don't have to do this right away. Saturn's not going to be in Scorpio, at least to the degree that we're talking about, for another 2 years. So you don't have to do anything right now. All you have to do is take care of yourself in that very Cancerian kind of way.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, you will revisit this.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and don't be a stranger, and tell your friends about the show.
I certainly will.
Okay, take care, Monica.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was a first-time call. A lot of first-time caller today. Well, I guess a lot. Two's a lot. It's a lot more than 1 or 0. It's 11:53 here in Sunny Point, Richmond. Can I just share with you a Mercury retrograde story? By the way, is Jenny, is she gone now? Is she gone for good? Just want to make sure. She's not allowed back in. She's done. She's done in the chat room. Okay, good. If she ever comes back, she's toast. I'll tell you a little Mercury retrograde story, and then I'll send you back off into the world. So on Thursday, when Mercury was at 0 degrees, well, it wasn't at 0 degrees. I take that back. When Mercury went retrograde directly on Thursday, my car broke down. And I knew it was coming. I could feel it. It's like, I'm going to deal with my car. I'm going to have a Mercury retrograde situation with my car. Oh, no. And it happened. It happened on Thanksgiving Day. Driving down the freeway, cruising along. All of a sudden, I look out my rearview mirror, cloud of smoke. Cloud. And I pull over. And I look into my car is bleeding. It's like somebody took a knife to my car, just rammed it right up into its midsection. It's bleeding all over the freeway. So I get off the freeway, I walk up the freeway, I knew it was transmission fluid. Somebody pulled over. Somebody actually pulled over to see if I was okay. It was cool. They had an Obama sticker. It was cool. So I went off and I got some transmission fluid, and I got under the car, and I saw that a line had come loose, and it looked like my transmission line. So I hooked it back up, and I threw the transmission fluid in, and I drove home. So I'm driving back home, and I get back to my place. I think I got it solved. I go to my mother's house for Thanksgiving, and it starts to smoke again. I spent half of Thanksgiving underneath my car, fixing my car, I think. I go to my mother's place. Thanksgiving happens. I'm driving home, and I'm driving with my kid, and all of a sudden the smoke starts coming out of my engine again. And I'm headed towards a tunnel. And I'm thinking, this is it. My car is going to die in the tunnel. This is an archetypal moment. Tunnels are death, you know. They're symbolic of death, which is why Diana died in the tunnel. So I'm going through this tunnel, and I'm just praying, please get me through, please get me through, please get me through, please get me through. And I get through the tunnel. And I go on the other side of the tunnel. I'm going down a hill, and then bang, I get to a gas station. I put 2 more quarts of oil in, transmission fluid in, done, toast. Won't hold it, done. So now I don't have a car. Well, you know what? My friend Linda, who's an angel, calls me up, asks me how I'm doing. I tell her my car tale of woe. Guess what Linda does? Linda winds up hooking me up with a woman who's in Spain, who's not using her car. It's a little smart car. She says I can use it. Now I have a car I can use. I go to get the car on Sunday. I jump the car. I'm driving across the San Rafael Bridge, and the car dies. So now I have 2 cars I have to fix. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But I get pulled over. I pull over on the bridge. California Highway Patrol stops behind me, wants to know if I'm okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm all right. I'm fine. Thanks. She pulls off, takes off. The stickers on that car were out of date. Those were 2011 stickers. That car could have been impounded, and that car's not even in my name. I could have had to do a lot of explaining in that moment, and I didn't. I want to thank God. I want to thank my angels. I want to thank my ancestors for protecting me during that time. That was great. So the bottom line is I have a car to use, and this is a happy Mercury retrograde ending. It's a reset, folks. Mercury retrograde helps you with resets. Don't be afraid of it. And go into your past lives, into your past loves, into your past hobbies, into your past passions. See what's there. You go back and resurrect some meaning during this time.